What's poppin'? Brand new whip, just hopped in. I got options. I can pass that.
So what y'all got going on? What questions y'all have? And yeah, I am curious as to why everyone turned against you. Now, are you still curious about that? Because I'm not. I mean, one thing, I haven't watched part 2 yet. I was there, so I know stuff just because I was there. But one thing that stuck out to me that I heard said, either, I think it was the last one then, part 1. I tell people that if you forgive them, don't believe it or don't go for it, however it was said, because you're only trying to figure out a way to use them. Now, but y'all still trying to figure out? Because I ain't. And here's the thing, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Some things I don't even feel like fighting about. Where did you teach in Decatur? Oak Park Middle School. Some things I choose not to fight about, because I feel like, for one, if you're gonna be small-minded, weak-minded enough to believe certain things that somebody may come tell you, I ain't even finna fight with you about it. Like, I just let it go and move on with my life. I ain't finna deal with it. Especially when you learn firsthand, you know what I'm saying, how manipulative people can be, and how good of a liar they can be. I'm not gonna fight with that. So I'll just be like, you can have them. You can have them. I ain't gonna fight with you about it. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be honest with you, I had a homegirl of mine. We've been friends for a very long time. And before the reunion, we had a conversation, and I'm gonna tell you straight up what she said. She might get mad at me, but if she do, I'm sorry. I ain't gonna say her name. But I have several homegirls that I've been friends with for a very long time. Okay. All of them aren't on social media. Some of them are. But one of my homegirls said, Melody, I just want you to know. She said, I see how he can try to turn your friends against you. I said, what you mean? Why you say that? And she opened up about a conversation that was had. And she said, if I had been a weak woman, whenever they said, oh, you think Melody your friend? She said, if I had been a weak woman and been like, what you mean? What you mean? Why would you say that? And fed into it, she was like, who knows what all would have been said, true or not. She said, but I was like, well, I'm her friend, and that's enough for me. So no. So when she told me that, I said, I already know, girl. I already know what be going on out here. And so I just back up and let people have it. That's it. Back up and let them have it. So yeah, so we're not in the dark in terms of what is what and why. And sometimes, I mean, I witnessed this from the moment I left. You know, people will try to turn people against you because they want you to feel like you have no other option, no other circle, no choice, so come back to me. You know what I'm saying? Men do this stuff all the time, and I know because I'm a woman and I have friends. And I'm telling you that the first thing they want to do is separate you from your family, separate you from your friends, whatever it takes to do that, in hopes of getting you to a place where you feel it ain't nobody but you, so let me go back. Y'all know men do that. Y'all know. So, you know, it's all good. It is all good. You left the show? No, I did not. No, not at all. No. I did not leave the show. No. Why would I do that? Nah. It would literally be on whenever I feel it in my spirit to do that. And at the moment, that ain't happened yet. So I'm still there for sure. Have you ever thought about leaving? Absolutely. Y'all are magic when you're together, though. I'm praying. What are you praying for exactly, if you don't mind? Let me make sure I pay attention to your Soaring Eagle 100. Yes. Will you let me know what you're praying for? God got you covered. Amen. Absolutely. Do you think you could reunite with Martell? Never. I see your question. You said, what's going on with you and Stormi? I talked about that one day last week. I said, y'all make sure y'all watch the show and stay tuned.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. But I want to ask you about this reunion, okay? And I asked about Stormi because I want to know how you feel. Because I like Stormi, but it is. Stormi, don't be mad at me, girl, because you may see this, but it's giving thirsty just a tad bit, just a tad bit. Because of the whole, I don't see Destiny as aggressive. I haven't even seen the whole thing, but when I saw that part, I was like, so we gonna lie? That's what we gonna do? So I haven't
seen it yet. I gotta watch it today.
She said that she don't feel like Destiny is aggressive, and I was like, but she threw a chair at you. So
okay.
So what's going on with you and Stormi? Like, are y'all cordial, cool? Or are we like, I don't fuck with her, but I'm keeping it cute?
So I answered that a little earlier when I saw you kind of type that. I said y'all got to make sure y'all watch the show because we filming right now. I think everybody kind of knows at this point we're filming right now, so y'all got to make sure y'all tune in.
Well, I'm tuned in all day.
Yeah.
Also, everybody had something to say about how you were on a reunion. Her attitude was stank and all of this, and I personally was loving it. I was loving it. I was like,
let me ask you this. All right, so let's keep it a buck. So so I was seen on the stage with people who have come for me for a whole year, right? On the show and on social media, right? For a whole year. Did a special talking about my accomplishments. Then people went live dogging that out, right? Like for a whole year. And that didn't even have nothing to do with me. It was a social media episode that OWN did, right? And they highlighted. So there's been a lot of little things that have happened. So my question for you is this. So the viewers saw me on the stage with people who've been coming at me for a year. You've seen me in real life doing the things I love doing, which is starting businesses, growing businesses, and being around people who genuinely care about me. Having seen me in that environment, what would you say? The environment of a natural environment, such as my skincare lunch party. You was there.
I was there, and it was great. I had a good time. It was good energy.
Energy. I was dancing, having fun, taking pictures with anybody who wanted to take pictures or go live, or
and just not even just that. Like, to see you in the room, like as soon as you come into the room, you work in the room. But it's not just that. It's the talking about the products and being knowledgeable and being personable. And it's just a lot of juggling at one time. And you always handle it so well. And to see that in person, I was just like, yeah, Mel is on it. Like, it's like... Girl, listen, I put my reviews for the show behind the paywall because they love it. So I'm like, pay for it.
Okay.
But in that, I was talking about how, because they were doing this whole comparison with you and Sheree, the upgrade, and all of this. And I was just like, listen, let's not even do that. listen, Sheree looks great. And we're not doing comparisons and all of that because all women are, have their own thing. But you are much younger. And you have several businesses. Ain't nothing she buy, she ain't nothing like that going on. So I was just like, I don't like when y'all do shit like that because you're really not paying attention if that's the type of comparisons you out here making. Like, because Melody is on it.
I'm thankful to God for everything that he's doing for me and doing in my life. I just turned 37 in November, and I see, what I'm saying, literally how I was brought out of a situation that I could have came out of that, could have lost my mind, could have hurt people, could be in jail, any of that stuff. So I'm
be really bitter, bitter. Not this,
like,
right.
Like for real.
Yes.
You guys don't even know the number of people on a daily that I encourage, whether that's through the DM or that I see out in real life that I encourage. That I'm there for, that I help out financially if my heart leads me to do that once I read whatever they got going on. Like, I do a lot of that. That don't, for me, everybody can say what they want to say, but that ain't bitter for me.
It's not.
But I will be honest, my face does tell it all. So if I'm in a situation and I ain't checking for it at the time, you gonna know. It ain't no, I wonder if she feels some kind of way.
Nah, you gonna know.
You're gonna know because you gonna see it, and you're gonna feel that energy. So,
and I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that
I
at
don't know why
all.
people are. I don't know why people are. People act like they've never been in a situation, whether it was work or around family or around certain friends or used to be friends that they don't care for, and they ain't in the best of spirits because of that. That's just real life. So, it's kind of one of those things where a lot of times it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
If you don't.
You know, so you can't worry about the people. That's why I say stay true to you. As long as you staying true to yourself, you wake up every day happy about the decisions you made, feeling good about the decisions you made. That's all that matters, because people gonna always find something
to be
even if you
mad about.
And tell them the facts, they're gonna find something. So,
Girl, listen, you know, I already know. And like watching you, like through these past few years and everything, like I can clearly see it. Like the leaving, you know, the marriage and doing your own thing. That's such a scary thing. And I know so many women and people, period, that are going through that right now. That shit is not easy. And then to do even better. And honestly, I feel like that's what it really is. The friend group are old head people. A lot of people are old head people. They want women to always be looking for validation in a man. As soon as a woman is like, no, I'm good, I got it, I can handle it myself, I don't want to do this anymore, everybody wants you to say that no, you miserable because you don't have a man that they can see. You know, and that's what I feel whenever you around everybody. It's like they want you to admit that you miss being fucked over. And it's like, no, she don't. Stop doing that. Like even earlier, before I jumped in here, oh, I'm praying for y'all. Please stop praying for her to go back to somebody that mistreated her. Please stop.
Hey, let me give it a buck. I done had somebody, this was probably a year ago now, but I had somebody DM me and say God told them something. It was dealing with something, and I said, well, God didn't tell me that. So, like, no.
I'm gonna tell you something about me. Like, what's going on? We don't even know each other. How? People be overstepping their boundaries. Like, they way too much of overstepping of boundaries. But for me, straight up, I feel like when they try to make it seem like, oh, Mel, you know, she don't have friends because no. When you are a resource, people feel like they can use you and use you and use you. Yeah. And as soon as, you know, if you're a sensitive person and you always doing for people and you feel like they taking advantage and you start moving differently, they don't know how to take that shit. They really don't. They don't know how to take it, and they have a problem with it, and now you're the bad guy. You have to be the bad guy because you don't want to take mistreatment. Yeah. And that's what it always looks like to me. They wanted you to, you know, like even when Marcel was like, does Mel take accountability for anything? I'm like, nah, nigga, I know you not sitting up there talking about accountability. Like, he's so funny to me because, like, he think he's so smart. And I'm like, nigga, I could wrap you up. Like, you so simple and you think you be doing the most circling the airport. Tisha makes you feel like you're smarter than you are. And she know you not that smart. She just be sitting up there nodding her head. And I'm just like, poor thing. Yeah. We gonna pray for her. That's who y'all need to pray for.
Well, you know.
But I'm gonna let it go.
The thing is, when I have people in my life and in my circle, and y'all saw this from the beginning because it was discussed, I'm always trying to elevate them with me, right? So first season, y'all saw, you know, I used to invite them out to galas.
You was going to give it a blueprint. You was going to give it a blueprint.
Them out to galas and, you know, wanting people to, you know, rub elbows with the right people. And I like to see people win. I'm going to keep it a buck. I do. Like, people in my life, I'm going to do all I can to make sure you do whatever it is you want to do and get to where you're trying to go. But with that too, if for some reason, and I'm going to say if because I have some people in my life who ain't never crossed me and I ain't never crossed them, and we get along just fine. We don't have no arguments. We hang out. One of my homegirls was at my house the other day. We were sitting up watching the Black Adam, honey, that just came out with the Rock.
With the Rock.
Mm-hmm. Watching, honey. So I have real life friends like that, and I like to see people win, you know, and sometimes when
I know you do. Personally, I know you do.
I do. And whenever you show me something different, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to debate with you. I'm not going to do a whole back and forth with you. I just move on. And we've got to start normalizing it being okay for you to move on. When you think about it, we've been taught to hold on to things and people that aren't good for us. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Like everybody in the city know that man cheating, but they still want you to stay married to him, right? They still want
Yes.
you going through. And as a woman, I know what all comes with that. The late night,
Mhm.
the crying, the depression. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, but people would rather, instead of you moving on, want to have you sitting around holding on to stuff. And it's like, because I've chosen to move differently in my life, that doesn't make me wrong. That doesn't make me a bad person. Because my thing will be, sit down and show me where I have done something so bad to anybody up here that the
Hmm.
hatred spews like it does. Tell me. I'm waiting. Like, I'm literally waiting on it. Now,
Well,
I will respect,
you know what
but
they think. You know what they think about, like, okay, for instance, the biggest thing I think everybody goes back to is the Tisha thing. You know how I see it. I think Tisha started the shit. I think, you throw your little jabs, you make your little comments, and you think I'm not going to say nothing back. And eventually I pull your card. And then I did it in front of everybody. So now I'm trying to ruin your marriage, when really, like, is it me ruining your marriage, or is it the truth ruining your marriage?
and
But
I didn't bring that up. And this is another thing I think people miss and forget. You're talking about how many episodes, a whole first part of season 1, and I never brought up or said anything about your marriage in terms of no kind of cheating of no kind, right? But then my ex has a conversation with your husband, not me.
mhm,
He went over there and said, you got
20
20 women.
girlfriends.
I didn't say that. But then you have a scene with me where you ask me about it. And even then, I'm like, figure it out for yourself, because I don't want to have nothing to do with that for real, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then keep saying little things and keep coming. You think I'm just going to be silent. And that's really where a lot of that started. That
Mm-hmm.
is where, before that, I had never even had a conversation about infidelity in that marriage whatsoever with either of them. I
Mm-hmm.
did not start the conversation. I end up trying to be made to be the fall guy on it, but I ain't start that shit. I ain't one checking for that.
I know. It was a lot of, oh, okay, so we're going to keep doing this, Tisha. We're going to keep playing. Because to me, I feel like Tisha is one of those people, and I feel like you could blame Miss Wanda. She's, unfortunately, as beautiful and intelligent as she is extremely insecure and jealous-hearted. And I think that Marceau plays on that. I think her mama play on that. And I think that, when she see you, she saw somebody that had a lot of the components that she wished she had, but she couldn't help but to be jealous at the same time.
And
She couldn't help it. So,
to me, all the women on this show are some beautiful women, right?
yes.
I think women on this show, we got some beautiful women, some talented women in their own rights.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm also learning, I'm 37. I'm still learning a lot of stuff too, but I'm also learning that sometimes that ain't enough. Like, you may think, oh, we should get along well, or we probably be able to kick it off good because we all, doing our own thing. And sometimes it doesn't work like that. It doesn't.
The male identified thing. That's what I think the biggest thing is. It's the being male identified. So once you break out of the mind warp of, I'm going to protect my man and his image at all costs. Once you break out of that, everybody that's still in that mindset is like, no, we can't, that's why I think the husbands want you to beef with the wives. I think they do, because I don't think they want you to influence Tisha or Kimmy to feel like y'all really don't have to deal with this shit. Y'all know that, right? Like, y'all really don't have to do this. Y'all don't have to be stressed out. You don't have to get an emotional support dog. You don't have to be, going through phones and shit. Like, you really don't have to deal with this shit. They don't want them to feel the power of knowing that you can do all of this shit better without some nigga making you feel like you need him, when really you make his life better. And I feel like that's really what the Jedi mind trick of the men is. Like, I think even with Martell, like, you see a woman like yourself that is resourceful, somebody that they can build with, and they like that, but they also feel like they have to control it, and it intimidates them on some level. So, I think, and I kind of clocked it from the beginning. I was telling you this, like, the first season, I was like, oh, he's jealous of you. He's jealous of you. It was before y'all had even really separated, and all of that. And I was just saying it because I saw it. He's jealous. He wants to be as impressive as you, but he's not. He doesn't know how to do that. And everybody around him, because he's like a beautiful man and he's charismatic, nobody forces him to be any better. I think his mom, the other friends, everybody is, oh, Martell is such a great guy. Yeah, but he's also extremely manipulative and narcissistic and kind of cruel and, you know, does shit to Mel that I feel like, why are you doing even more damage? You've already fucked it up. Why do you have to then continue to, you know, want people to see her in a bad light just so you can make it okay for what you did? And that's what I constantly see. And I've never liked it. And
but
like,
what
for instance,
what gets me is this, and this was when I say, that's another thing I was talking about when I used to teach earlier, Bundy. And one thing I taught my students was how to think. I was big on my students how to think, critical thinking. And so now in this adult world of reality TV, I look at a lot of things and I'm like, dang, people really don't be thinking sometimes, right? So my thing is this, if I was so evil and so all of these things, right? Y'all have seen for yourselves at this point, even though I already know what was going on behind the scenes, but you know, people think I'm just making that up, right? But now y'all are seeing for yourself through some of the little comments being made. If I was so that, why do you still desire me? Why do you still want me? If I was such an evil person with such a dark heart that you have to tell people if Melody's forgiving you, don't believe it, and all of these things, if I was all of that, then why are you still for your ex-wife and for your family? I would be running out the damn door to never return in the way you'd be describing me to people.
Especially if you had cheated. Like when he kept saying, oh, Mel cheated too. Mel cheated too. It's like, okay, so why do you still want to be with her then? Because we know most of you niggas can't handle that. We know most of you niggas, if y'all found out that y'all wife was cheating on y'all the way y'all cheating on y'all wife, y'all couldn't take that and wouldn't really want to stay with them. Like, also, you would have brought it up a long time ago. Why wait until she divorces you to want to bring that up? Like, yeah, it's not a lot of like really thinking about the situation. Even with Destiny and Tisha, everybody was at one point mad because they didn't have as much access to you anymore. So if I'm such a terrible person, why are you mad that we not friends no more? Like, so explain it to me. Let me know.
The critical thinking part comes in, right? How does something simple as the communication not being there for a month or two, like it usually would be, why does it hurt so bad or bother you so bad if I'm such a bad person? But I will tell you this before I get ready to go, because I got to get my nails done, girl. But let me tell you this really quickly. Jay Bolin said they got to be black tomorrow, honey. So I'm going to go ahead and get them. But let me say this. I've learned about myself when I've sat down and just because I do spend a lot of time alone too, thinking, doing my spiritual growth and healing and all the stuff I need to do for me.
Yeah.
I literally will pull back, right? I will pull back if something feels maybe a little something, whatever, or even if I'm busy and my pullback happens, it allows people to show you who they really are. If you open your eyes, because you look at it and you'll be like, but I ain't even do nothing to you though. Oh, I just kind of stopped talking to you for a while and then you wrote like this.
You showed your hand.
Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happens. I ain't gonna lie. That's what continues to happen. And it literally is not me doing nothing, but just falling back a little bit. Just fall back a little bit. And it always comes to the forefront. It just always is. So there's nothing nobody can say that I've just so done to them. But then once that pullback happens and I see how you move, I'm going to go that route.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's a good place to be in. To me, it's called intuition, first of all. And another thing, you know, people don't understand as a woman, you have every right to be selfish, not even as a woman, but as a person. You have every right to be selfish about your time, your energy, your space. So if I don't want to deal with somebody, I don't always owe you an explanation. Like, I can just move how I feel, and that might be hurtful to you. But if you're not a fucked up person, then you shouldn't respond fucked up, especially if I didn't do something messed up to you. Just give me the space.
Or if you didn't just say a word. And if I...
Listen.
I can't say what you just said, but boom, shakalaka, pass the collection plate. We gonna say amen, all of that. all of that. Because real talk, if I ain't did something messed up to you, you ain't gonna move in a messed up way. And me just pulling back, not talking as much, is not me doing anything to you.
Right.
But you know,
People
if you start moving a certain way. Now I'm gonna
people are entitled.
girl. Now you just said a whole word. You just said a whole word.
Listen, I'm going through a lot right now, girl. You know, we in these mid-30s and you know, shit just be going on. And it's been a lot going on.
You got to stay encouraged too. And the one thing I used to tell myself, I was going through my stuff, I was like, one thing that was big for me that I used to always say is God is my source. God is my, and I used to say that all the time, because what people don't know is when I left, I didn't leave with anything. I was out. Didn't know what tomorrow looked like, the next week, none of that. But I knew that God was my source. We weren't even filming right then because of COVID when I left. We weren't filming no more. So literally, okay, so like, girl, what you gonna do? You know, but I know I ain't finna stay over here. I'm gonna figure something out. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So one thing I used to always tell myself is God is my source. And then also I said, what I'm going through, and this is what I'm gonna share with you, what I'm going through, okay, my ancestors have gone through that plus worse. So if they survived and made it through, then I'm gonna make it through this.
Yes.
And I'm for real. I began to pull from the strength of my ancestors.
It's a real feeling. Yeah. Bruh.
Come on now.
It's a real thing.
We're not about to give up. We're not about to stay in no place. We ain't about to stay in no place that ain't God meant. So come on. And
yes,
I'm going to encourage you to do.
And, you know, being connected to you in the way that I have been, you've always been like inspiring to me and super sweet. And that's why, you know, I go up for you, because I feel like I know you in a way that I don't care what nobody's talking about. You're not going to make me feel like Mel is some fucked up person, because I personally have been around her and have seen her growth in her life. And I don't know what nobody else is looking at. Like, I don't get what they got going on, but you know I fuck with you heavy. So
yeah, I know, and I'm proud of you. I am proud of you. Like, I've been watching you, you know what I'm saying? Been seeing you, rediscovering yourself and all of that, and it's beautiful to see. You know, so from one to another, I see you, and I'm proud of you.